Well, I have the great displeasure of taking apart this WiiU disk drive from the console that was infested with cockroaches. Now, when I took off the upper housing plate for it, I was somewhat surprised that those little ovo bastards didn't actually make it in here and piss and shit on everything. So, despite the console being an absolute disgusting mess, I think the disk drive can be saved. So I took off the front plate. I don't have any of the screws measured for this console because that's kind of a nightmare. But considering this console's origins, I need to take it apart. That is no longer a matter of debate. So, I bought a bunch of these pill containers from a thrift store, and I'm going to be using them to kind of keep track of my screws. I haven't washed these yet, which is kind of perfect because I'm not going to assume that any of these screws are going to be clean if they haven't been piss and shit on. So, to start, I did take off the front panel. I think there were, no, 2 screws right here on the flank. I don't know how big those are. I didn't keep track of that. I just wanted to get that thing fully apart. See what was wrong. Well, what was right. Everything was wrong about it. So I'm going to start with my yellow pill case. I should maybe identify the sides a little better here. Let me find a Sharpie. I'm just going to put like a dash through them. Just something to identify like this side versus this side. Start with Sunday. I'm going to do these big screws right up here. Which are a cross recess. And it looks like, I think I'm using a number 1. Is fitting in there pretty good. As I yeet it. So there are 2 cross recess number 1s. These are going to be... Sorry, calipers, I have to touch you, but... 7mm Phillips number 1 cross heads, or Phillips 1 driver heads. Both of them are the same, presumably. Put them in Sunday. Now this plate should come off, because it did when I was taking this apart the first time. Yeah, it looks like they did get in here, or maybe that was just remnants that was rattling around. Ew. That's going into the clean me pile. Now these arms, I can remove the arms. They are a little weird. So I just want to make sure, this video is more that I can make sure I can put this thing back together after pulling it apart. So it looks like this down arm is sitting in that channel. See how the spring is sort of aligned? Yeah, there's a leg right there, so they are getting in here, or were. So I should just be able to pop this off, because I did take this apart a little bit to get a game out. Okay, I'm going to take the spring. If I can take the spring out, yes I can. I'm going to put that as well into Sunday, if it'll fit. Hell yeah. And the rest of this should just come out. Okay, so there is another spring. So if I do this, I might be able to get away without removing this spring. I don't think it will fall out on its own, so I'll keep it as an assembly, but if I need to put it back together, it looks like this. The angled down piece sits onto like the upper arm, and the straight piece goes onto this little arm. Put these in my cleaning pile. Okay, there is a screw right here for a PCB. Definitely much smaller than a Phillips number 1. I'm going to try a 0, maybe a 00 will work. 00 fits in there pretty good. So I'm going to put this into Monday. Oh, let me measure it first, just so that I have a rock solid plan here to put this thing back together, because if it was anything like the Xbox 360 disk drive, there's going to be about 10 different types of screws in here. Okay. And then this metal arm, which is sort of like the upper like disc spinning assembly. These have a bit of a larger screw head, thicker. I think a recess number 0 probably fits this a lot better. Those go into Tuesday. I'm just gonna wash everything so I can take this PCB out. There are 4 mounting screws in these big sort of recesses. Maybe a number 1. These are pretty unique screws as well. Okay, the PCB that I see through here, I think, is still connected to the housing. So there's I see 2 visible screws. There's one right there and one down here. These must be sort of the base, like, marrying screws that maybe connect to this ribbon cable. And I mean, would I be surprised if this console works after this? Not at all, I don't think. I think other than just being rusty, I think it's savable. So far I only spotted 2 screws. Those will go into Thursday. And we'll see if this all separates now. Oh, yes it does. Okay. And there's some bits and bobs in there. And why I'm somewhat confident that I can get this thing fixed, mainly because I've had an original Xbox that was just completely eaten away, or had the same sort of fate, where it was just packed with cockroaches and all of their goodies along with it. Okay, I flipped the drive over. This PCB is basically free. There's a small screw right here. I'm guessing this is going to be kind of the same type of like PCB screw that was on the other side. Not going to make that call right now. I will just separate it. 2.77. Put that into Friday. So this looks like a friction fit. Yeah, there is bits and bobs on it, so I'm going to have to wipe that down. Like, this needs to come completely apart. I'm trying to talk myself out of it, but this has to come fully apart so I can clean everything. Okay, I pulled these off. There's one more right over here. Oh, no, I don't have to remove it because that's the little PCB assembly. Okay, I can bend that little tab up, and this will all come out. So, looks pretty okay. I'll have to give it an alcohol bath. Let me grab a place for this stuff. Because despite me wanting to, I can't put PCBs in soap and water. I mean, it would probably be okay if I dried it off quick enough, but I mean, I'm not going to try that. That's stupid. Okay, so then right here, there is the drive motor. I don't exactly know if all of this is sort of the right, like, step, per se. But this drive motor uses a Torx end. I'm going to try a number, I think this is a 4. Oh, this is a 6. Okay, looks like a number 6 recess. I feel like when I plug this console in, the drive sounded good. I think it just like immediately shut off, so I'm guessing there's some piss and shit shorting it. Hopefully. Once I get the motherboard cleaned, I'll have to try it again. Okay, it looks like the drive motor will come out pretty easily. All of these screws are the same. They are Torx, what did I say, 6, I think. These screws are pretty long, machine thread. 6.16. These will go into Saturday. Now we go to the flip. Drive motor looks like it'll just pop out. There are a bunch of screws holding it down. That looks really nice. Not a sign of piss or shit. There are 3 springs holding it down. These springs, these are going to be kind of a little hard to measure. Let me just go by diameter, because length is hard to measure. They're about 5 millimeters in diameter. These will go into Sunday. Actually, I should put them in the same bin as the other one. So let me put them into the Saturday. Because these are part of the same assembly. And I may not even be able to take this thing apart. And I say that because all of these gears over here scare me. Like, this whole assembly is a little frightening to me. Okay, so let me take off this. This might be part of the rail. It's a little hard to say. Yeah, Torx bit won't work because this is a Phillips head. Try a 0. That's a Y bit. That's a 1. This must be the 0 then. Thankfully, it doesn't look like there's mounting screws. Ooh, there's some bits. See those little black dots in the laser track from cockroaches. It doesn't look like there's calibration screws or like balancing screws for the WiiU, so these should be a lot easier to take apart. Because on the 360, there were screws that were kind of holding things up, and they weren't installed all the way. They were kind of driven into a certain length and then glued down. I don't know what happened to the other screw. I need to find it. But these are going to go into the other Sunday. Oh, here it is. Oh, what's this? It's a piece of glue. Okay, that's kind of what I'm talking about. So some of these might be glued down to keep them from turning. So like an anti-seize of some type. This piece... Okay, there's another one up here. I don't know if this is the same assembly. I'm gonna treat it as not the same. Probably is. .87. This will go into the Not Monday. Now I should, hopefully... Can I just take this whole assembly off if I bend it around, or is it still kind of in here? Okay, that metal plate moves a little. It might be hooked around the track over here. I don't want to pull on it too hard. So I'll just kind of leave it like that. I might even be able to lift this whole assembly out. No, not yet. It wants to. It's close. I'm trying to see how you actually move these. Oh, I wonder if I can just push it out the back. Because there's a hole in the back, I might be able to shove the bar through. I'm going to have to get a little bit of lubricant as well on this thing. Okay, it looks like I can just slide the bar out the back. Perfect. That'll be kind of a pain to put back. Okay, once I have the bar out, the laser assembly comes free. And then with it, I should be able to take the track off. The little drive motor is kind of routed. Let me get an image on that. Or it's sort of like the laser track motor. I'm kind of making terms up as I go here. Sort of routed around. It's not so very it's not routed very difficultly. With any difficulty, it looks like it's a little hooked right here. Should just be able to get these around. Yes. And then as far as the motor is concerned, it is screwed in with a very tiny motor and there's a belt. So I'm going to probably wait on that. If I can get it out of the way. I'm wondering... Oh, okay. So the laser assembly isn't hooked on. It just sort of like... It's just like a half circle assembly. I don't know how far I'm going to take this thing apart, if at all. It looks like it's all clipped on. There's a little metal tabs, and I don't want to misplace this itty bitty spring that's in here. It's like some type of tensioner. But yeah, there are bits that I'm gonna have to clean off. So I'm just gonna treat this as one assembly. Let me see. So this plate might be guarding the hole that this thing can slide through. I wonder if I can just dislodge it enough to... Unlike the other one, this one doesn't want to come off. Oh, because there's a back plate preventing it from moving. So how does this come off? How did this come on? Oh, okay. It just pulls off because... So I'm guessing you just sort of like jam it under there. Yeah, okay, that works. It's just a little more force than I would be comfortable with. And I mean, realistically, I don't need to go much deeper. I say that, but I don't know how to get to the rollers still. That's really what I wanted to get to on my other WiiU, but I just didn't know how, and I wasn't exactly comfortable doing that. So, in order to get this assembly off, I need to remove this spring. Should just leave her off. Yes, it does. And once I undo the tension, I should just be able to slide it off its post here. Okay, so the really tiny guy will go into Tuesday. Not Tuesday. Now what about the rest of this assembly? Can I do anything with it yet? Or is it all just kind of locked in its track? So far, it's all kind of locked on its track. Let me remove the belt. I don't think that will really matter. And then see if I can get this drive motor off. It's a really tiny screw. Phillips is 00 for certain. Not even smaller. 00 fits it nicely, actually. Okay, very tiny screw. .75, 00, going into Wednesday. This drive motor should just pop out now. How is the question? Oh, okay. It's supposed to go out, like, through the back? Curious. Wonder if I can pull it through, or do I need to desolder it? Because there's these plastic tabs on top that are going to prevent it from going up. I think I can pull it down. I had to have gotten in here some way. Oh, no, I'm stupid. I just pull it up. Alright, here's the motor assembly for that little belt. Now that I have the gear free, I just need to figure out how to take this plastic piece off. It might just be clipped in with tabs, and if I undo the tabs... I don't want to be too hard on this, though, if I don't have to be. What would be holding it in place? Because it's not bottoming out on any of these posts. It's bottoming out on this little rail up here. Can I, like, work it off the rail? Don't feel comfortable doing that. I do want to figure out how to get in here, though. Can I lift up this rod? There's a clip right here. If I pull the clip back, I might be able to pop this rod off that has the gear. Yes-ish? I mean, I have it off. I just don't really know if I can do anything at this moment. I'm trying to be very gentle so I don't harm any of those gears. This big plastic piece right here really does need to go away. Or I need to find a way to take it off. It is right now sort of the biggest hurdle. I might just be able to... I can't really force it to go. If I spin this, will I be able to kind of like push it down? You know, one thing's for certain, I'm probably going to put this thing back together and it's not going to really work that well. Which is fine, because right now I wouldn't use it anyway. So if I have to say, like, these things are, like, finely calibrated, and then I'm kind of boned. I don't like prying on it that much. If I could pop a gear off, that would make this a lot easier. There's a really tiny gear in here, sort of between the two, like, double stack gears. Now I should just be able to move this thing freely. I want to get this gear out. I do have to clean this. I don't know if I'll actually throw that in my cleaning bin. I might try and clean that by hand. Right now I need to figure out how to, like, pop it off its shell. Without being too hard on it. Yeah, because it's all kind of guided around the entire assembly. There's a tab right there, a tab right there, there's a tab up there. Trying to be gentle with. Oops, I didn't mean to free that gear. Oh, there we go. I got that bottom tab free. Can I get this? I just have one more. It should be unrestricted in how far I move back, right? There's a tab up here as well. Looks like I'm hitting the back of the... Not even... Well, it looks like I still have a little ways to go to... Oh, I'm hitting the housing right here. This piece is mighty complicated. Try and, like, lever this off if I can without breaking it. I don't know if I can. I don't think popping off this track will do me any good. No. It's like one of those puzzles that only has one solution. Okay, interesting. This piece is comprised of two pieces. Is there anything from the back here that I can sort of exploit? Not really. Again, I'm just trying to be very careful as to not harm any of these pieces. I don't know if removing gears at this point would be beneficial. I'll remove this gear. So it's the gear. This is the gear from that spot, like the second gear in. It's sort of a tall boy. Let me get a better picture of it. Try and see if I can keep them somewhat in order up here. I don't think that really does anything for me. Nothing from the back. Might be able to push the pin out from this pulley. Yes, I can. And this little gear or the little pulley should fall down. Or push up or something. Oh, it's got a gear holding it in place. So I'm going to put this into Thursday as the shaft for the pulley. Just have to figure out how to get this piece off. I mean... I feel like I just have to get it around one of these tabs. Okay, it looks like the pulley is one of the last things to come out. Oh! I pushed on that metal tab, that metal through tab that was right there, and this whole assembly wants to kind of... Will it completely pop off, or... Because if I could pop this off, I would almost... Trying to see sort of... It's sort of bottoming out on me. It might be because of this front panel. If it was that easy to get to the rollers, holy... That would be monumental knowledge for me. Yes, it is. Look at that. It's just pulling apart. Okay, disgusting. These are going in cleaning bin. The roller. I don't think there's really anything I can do with it per se. I'm almost wondering if I should just keep all of this assemblies together. And just... Because I don't know how to get this piece off. But that's good. That's a good thing about that door. You just push on that metal tab and the whole thing just kind of collapses. I don't know if that's... If having the gears in place made a difference. So how do I separate these two pieces? Problem is, I don't really see them. attached to one another. At least not from the back side. I can kind of separate it from right here, but I imagine it's being kind of held down here on these tracks. Oh, there we go. Voila. Okay, there we go. So, I think that piece was attached. There's a little nipple on this piece. It sort of sat in the track that was in here. Ooh, that... Yeah. I'm glad I did not decide to stop taking this apart, because it needs to become fully... Okay, and then this piece, the bottom piece, slides free pretty easily. It is locked in there. I'll kind of show it here. There's sort of a tab, and then there's like this off-axis piece. And I'll have to manually re-lube all this stuff. So let me get this bar off. I'll clean these gears by hand. Just don't think it's worth them potentially getting lost. So here's the bar. The little worm gear attached to the pulley should just fall out. And it does. That goes like right there. Then there's this 2-layered gear. I think it goes right there. There's another 2-layered gear, a little smaller. And then there's this really tiny gear attached to the rollers, which... how you get the rollers out. There are 2 good springs. 2 big springs. I'm going to detach this spring. Undo the tension. Okay. This one has a long... And it kind of went in. I think the long piece went into the actual roller shaft. There's a hole in it. And then the angled bit grabbed onto the plastic piece down here. I'm going to put these bits into Friday, because I have another spring over here. I might not be able to remove this spring, at least I don't see a way. Detension it. I should make this all assembly free. Okay, it just sort of levers out. That's what the spring looked like. I don't know how it was tensioned. I should have probably looked into that a little closer. I'll put that also into Friday. It's the smaller of the 2. And these rollers might just slide out or pop out or something. I can just probably keep them as is. I think I'll keep them as is. I'll just clean them. Yeah, okay. I'm glad I took this apart. I think that's it. I think that's all the pieces for the... Oh, there is the shaft here for the other rail. I should be... There is a hole, so I should just be able to slide this out. Perhaps. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this shaft is a little thicker. It is a tiny bit shorter, so the one I just pulled out is a tiny bit shorter. And then here's the drive belt. I think all of these anti-vibration washers are in here pretty good. I think you can probably pull them out. Or maybe like push them out, perhaps? I don't exactly want to tear them. I am going to try anyway. Oh, okay. You just push them out. And that is the 4 washers. I'm just going to wash them as well. Okay, right here. That's where the glue came from. There's the 3 recesses. I'm imagining that's where this one came from. I'm guessing some sort of Loctite or something. For probably, yeah, for the motor. So I'm going to have to probably add a little bit of UV glue when I screw those in and just get them, make sure they don't move. That is the entirety of a WiiU disk drive taken apart. Those pieces I need to clean. Yeah, disgusting. I'm gonna have to wipe off all my tools when I'm done doing this little medley of clean it stuff. Well, after a couple hours of scrubbing, I now have the cockroach motherboard looking pretty good. There are some spots I can probably hit later, but I should be together enough that I should be able to test. I did just plug it in and see if I could get any activity on the power light, which I did. And the problem that I was running into is part of this ribbon cable is damaged. I was going to try and see if I could maybe fix it with a little bit of Kapton tape, because it doesn't really sit in the little receptacle for it very well. So what I think I need to do, and I'm not even like know for certain if this is damaged. It does look like there's supposed to be a wing on the other side. So I can just do a little bit of redneck repair. And if this doesn't work, well, I should probably just get a new ribbon cable anyway. I should be able to source them on AliExpress. But right now I need to make sure that the motherboard powers on. So I'm going to go the sort of redneck approach until I can just verify that for certain. If I have to hold this cable in, then I will. It extends about that far. Because when I was first trying to power it on just to see if the board would turn on, which it did, it overheated immediately because I didn't have the heatsink on it. I just need to know kind of what shape it is, what shape it's in, if I need to do anything with it. Might be all I really need to do here. Not going to be perfect, but I think that will do okay. Okay. I need to get this heatsink on. I don't remember which way it sat, to be honest. Which is why I had video records. The disgusting video records of me pulling this thing apart. Okay. It looks like it goes on like this. So, and then I need to grab the screws for it. Wherever thou art might live. Ah, here they are. I just threw them all in a baggie. I just didn't want to deal with them. Before I get too far, I do want to look at a little spot near the power button, actually. I tried to see, I wasn't able to get, well, I never really booted up my microscope, but just a spot right here that looked a little concerning. I tried reflowing it to see if I could just get rid of, I mean, it still doesn't look great. I mean, there's a lot of spots on this board that aren't perfect still. Since I have it here under a microscope, I'll just give it a... let me actually try and reflow it again. I'd heat gun it, but it's a little too close to this connector. I'm a little gun shy when it comes to things like that. I'm not going... I don't think I want to worry about this right now. This will be for the front panel connector, so there may be... There are issues with like a power button. I can look into why. If that resistor and if those resistor end caps maybe aren't that good. And they might actually be okay. The best way for me to tell probably is to go from solder joint to solder joint. Could just be just cockroach piss and shit all over it. What's funny is this is not the first cockroach console I've dealt with. I had an original Xbox that was cockroached. And I mean, that thing works just fine. So despite the console looking like a terrible mess, maybe just fine. Okay, I won't worry about that for now. I'll just assume it's fine, or if I have any problems, I'll tackle it later. Get this heat sink on. Plug in the little fan to make sure it still works. And the bearing Phillips okay. I have to be kind of... Using the wrong screwdriver bit. I'll change that out when I go to actually tighten them. I don't need to make this too terribly tight. I mean, I don't even know if that thermal pad's good anymore. I did have it underwater just not 20 minutes ago, so I mean, probably not good. But if it's good enough to transfer some heat, I'm not going to be playing games on this thing. At least not in the state that it's in. I just need to know if the thing boots. And the blue light that I got out of it is telling me it wants to. I mean, by golly, if it wants to, I'm going to give it its best shot. Probably will have to put in the disk drive. Now, I actually don't know what part of the disk drive needs to be inserted. Probably, I don't know if I can just get away with the ribbon cable end, which I never wiped off. Or if it needs to actually do a self-diagnostic where it pulses all the pieces. Which, I mean, I've dealt with a bad disk drive, so I'm probably just going to be taking off this like black shielding. I don't really want to scrub this too hard. I don't think I never actually took the time to clean these small boards. I mean, most of them look fine. There's just this ribbon cable was a little. This ribbon cable's external to the disk drive, so it would have been roached up. Okay, that's probably fine. Folding that over, trying to contain all that roach debris. So I'll just see if this is enough to pass the self-check. If it's not, I might be able to try and plug in everything. But I mean, even if it shows me like a disk drive error, that's much further along than what I have so far, and I'm just gonna have to wait until I get the disk drive back together. Which hopefully that will be a piece I can save. A lot of these pieces I probably can't. Like the metal shielding I can treat with like a rust remover, but how much of that I'm actually going to be able to save? It might just have to become my personal modding console, because I mean, once I get rid of all the rust, it's going to look awful, but it won't be an active decay, and it's still structurally rigid. I think I'm good enough to test now. So this connector sort of bends like this, so I'm thinking it goes in like this, contact side that way. Clip off a little more of my custom ribbon. I should probably not do this with the light or the power plugged in. Oh, I think there's like a plastic tab that's supposed to be like dangling off this thing. That's why I'm able to just pull this connector straight out. See if that's enough. Oh, there's a piece of cockroach right here. Despite me trying to contain it, it's a very difficult thing to contain. Especially when I decide to do it in this environment. Okay. Got a light, red light, turned off. So let's just see. I have this HDMI plugged into a monitor, so I'm going to try turning it on. Roll fan's working, that's backwards. Hell yeah. I can't necessarily turn my camera over, but let's see what happens. It might spit out an error. No. Mr. Badass and his cockroaches. Yeah, that's right, I'm flashing your Nintendo Network ID. Wherever you live is disgusting. Get it cleaned. Good lord. Okay, that's all I need to know. This board boots just fine. It even booted with... I wonder what, like, if it just, like, pings this, like, EEPROM or something. If that is an EEPROM. Or there's a... Or maybe that main component. Okay. I mean, there's not really much I can do right now until I get this thing cleaned and put back together and probably hit the shielding with some rust remover. Once I get the disk drive pieces done, I'm gonna have to hit those shieldings with rust remover as well, so it might be a couple day endeavor. And I mean, it has a Toshiba NAND, and it obviously booted, so I'm looking pretty good for this console. What I intend on doing with it, I don't know, but I'm definitely going to have to... This might just be my personal one, if I'm going to have to do these sort of, like, redneck repairs on it. But, I mean, for a console that was covered in cockroaches, surprisingly, for some reason, the cockroaches... Their piss and shit doesn't eat away solder joints. Not really, at least. Like, I'll take a closer look at that resistor cluster. But I mean, all of their piss and shit just sort of... you have to kind of scrape it off. It sort of hardens on like little scabs. But, I mean, with like half a bottle of rubbing alcohol and enough scrubbing, you can pretty much clean it all off. So, yeah, let me go back to this. See if there's anything I can do here. Get these power cables away. Make it in a little more comfortable position. I'm very glad to see this thing boot. Makes me very happy. Yeah, I mean, those don't look great. Can I heat from the back? Am I gonna melt anything? No, yes. There's a connector for the Bluetooth board. So I might just have to keep putting iron heat onto it. I mean, those don't look that good either. Those are just random ones I come across. If I can heat the solder, hopefully we'll be able to just pull that grody away, or like sort of boil the grody away. Sort of the intention, at least. I like that. think I got all 3 of those sides. Go kind of awkward here. Oh, hard to tell. I don't think I did. Almost might have to set up a rig like I did on the Elite Series 2 controller that I did, where I try and make a heat shield and just blast this thing with hot air. I should be able to get, like, if I do want to recycle pieces, I can definitely purchase another one of those front connector ribbon cables, if not just the whole assembly. But I think what I'm going to do is try and set up this in the vise and get this thing heated. Where the hell I put it. Not exactly a fan of that. Right, that's a little better. There. Heat shield. See how well this goes. Or horribly. I'll show you it. Ooh, that smells awful. I think that may have done it. Smells exactly like what you would think boiled cockroach to smell. Ugh. Whew. Well, no doubt that smell will be permeating in this room for a couple days. Try not to touch the board more than I need to. Took my little heat shield once again, did a very good job. I'll check on those components, because now a hell of a lot more heat than my iron could. I mean, those are shiny. About down here. I mean, I really don't have any doubts those aren't connected. I do kind of want to try and touch them up a little more, though. Now that I've sort of boiled away anything that was fouling up those solder joints, perhaps my iron will grab onto it a little easier. Get a nice, we're finicky getting the right angle. There we go. I am a little worried about this resistor. It might not have its end cap now that I'm looking at it. Looks like the other ones are okay. I mean, this one isn't looking really good either. Oh? No, there it is. I just had to kind of brush it off. I'll see if I get a connection across that resistor. These might be the resistors for the LEDs on the front panel. I mean, I saw 3 of the LEDs. There was sort of the red power notification, the white eject button notification, and the blue power notification. Like the red as in like a console's powered but off. I mean, it could be connected. It's really hard to say from the angle I'm getting at. It looks like its end cap is gone and there's just a blob of solder sitting next to it. So let me try and get a not a continuity, but a resistance reading through it to see if I get anything, because it should be I either get resistance or it's just nothing. .5 kiloohms? 1.4 kiloohms? So it is connected. I mean, what's this? It's about 58 kiloohms. That could just be 35 kiloohms. And 40 mega ohms and climbing seems like a lot. 53 ohms. Okay, so it's because I'm guessing it's coming from the connector straight into this resistor. So unless I spot a reason why I should suspect it, I'm not going to worry. So until I have a good reason to suspect it, I guess this board is good for now. Very pleased. I'll make a fine addition to my rusty cockroach consoles. Well, I took it apart, and now it's time to get it back together. This is gonna be a slow process. I can already tell, because I wouldn't be able to put this thing back together if my life depended on it. First, want to make sure, just kinda, was my cleaning successful? And it looks pretty good. I mean, all things considered. I think I can put these rubber stopper, or these like anti-vibration washers in. And then it'll be me rewatching my take apart video to try and figure out where everything went. Definitely one of the many perks of recording all of this stuff, so I know where things go if I forget. Just far more often than not. Oh, I didn't need that button. I'm probably pretty set to put the entire console back together. I didn't need to treat any of the rust, I just wire wheeled it all off, as much as I could. I figured I'm never really gonna get it super good. Any of the rust that is left I can try and scrape off a little, or just isolate it with Kapton tape. It shouldn't get any worse. Okay, so I did the easiest step. Now let's see how this thing came apart. So one of the first things that I took apart was the bar, one of the tracks. Um, I think it was the short one. It's the shorter one. Okay, so the shorter one goes in here. I'll get lubricant on that when I get to it. Can I just play this in reverse? Nah, there's nothing obvious. Okay, I took off the front assembly that had the spring, so it was this, the roller, this looks right. Ooh, that feels right. Yeah. Okay, and the springs for it went into Friday knot. Okay, these are remarkably complex little devices. So I just gotta make sure I orient the spring correctly, so that when I put it in, okay, it was like that. Put it like that. And I noted not knowing how this was tensioned, so very good. I'll have to kind of figure that out. Oh, I think it might just be tensioned on the, there's not like a specific recess for it. It might just be pulled, pushing against the ground. So kind of like that. So the bottom part of it is just pushing against the floor of it, and then there's a little tiny lip right here on this piece. That feels right. I'm expecting this to really not work when I put it back together, but I have hopes. And then I should be able to put in the spring for the other side as well. How did this spring go in? Oh no, it would be over here. So if I'm recalling... don't remember. Okay, I was on the right track. The long piece does go into the hole. Yeah, it goes something like that. So now it's supported on both sides. Nice and tensioned. Right, what's the previous day? Tuesday? Small shaft. Or Thursday, not Tuesday. Okay. There's the wheel gear. Kind of find everything. Looks like I took apart the gear assembly next, which should be in this orientation. I put the worm gear here. There's this big gear that goes onto this shaft. Should probably lube everything as I go. A big old tub of multi-purpose lithium grease. I'm not kidding when I say big. It smells good too. It smells like a shop. Don't need much. We'll get some on this shaft. Just a touch. A little bit right there. A little bit right there. So this big gear went right here. The smaller 2-layer gear, now I got a couple of those. Is it the thicker one or the thinner one? Okay, it's coming back to me slightly. I'm going to make the assumption that it goes like this, because that would make sense with this worm gear. For it to also be a worm gear. Put a little bit of grease on the end of this, the end of these shaft. It's expected to spin against plastic. Let me double check just to make sure I am putting it right way and I don't get it jammed. I mean, I think it might be that the Okay, I would have had it wrong. It would have gone like this. There you go. Big gear, stay on. Okay, I'm gonna hope that's the right gear I put in. Try and see if I can get a better visual of the gears I took off. I did put them in order. Somewhat makes sense for that to be there and this to be here. Yeah, because all of that moves. I know I took off the gear. I took off some of the gears earlier, and I want to make. Did I take off that first gear? I didn't show this one. Actually, the way this gear is oriented, I think it is the one that goes against the worm gear. Touch these shafts a little more with some grease. Make sure I got them. Because this one's almost like spiraled. It would make a lot more sense for it to be right here. And I think I put... It wouldn't make sense to be that one. And then it would make sense for this to go in backwards because it has sort of long shaft to it. Something like that. Don't know why those gears don't touch. That's kind of one of the many mysteries. I feel like I zoomed in on all the gears before I started working on them. I didn't exactly do my due diligence and carefully record where all of the springs are. Or all the gears. Okay, I think I'll just keep going for now. Figure it out as I go. So I need this piece. And this piece to be married again. I'm fairly confident that I put in the gears right. They all kind of make sense. There, that's in. I mean, I should probably put a little bit of grease on this plastic as well. Not this much, but just a little dabbling. I didn't exactly do the best job cleaning this. That's what the rubbing alcohol is for, I suppose. Excited to put in all this effort only for it not to work. Okay, seems to be working. Sort of dot some grease around the place where plastic touches plastic. It will work its way around. Okay, that looks right to me. Let me keep going back. Okay, this sort of pushes on almost. It's sitting on like two little nipples. Okay, I think that's it. And then there should be like a piece of plastic. This. I don't know if that... I did remember figuring it out. It was just like, oh, I pushed the tab. That's really it. Oh, I see. Okay, so the shaft in Thursday goes into this little pulley. Lube it up and jam it in. I don't know how far it goes. Okay, yeah, it goes that far because there's a little backstop for it. Okay, I was screwing with the gears some more. That gear assembly really kind of threw me through a loop. It still kind of does. I mean, what, I spent like 15 minutes just on that little... Okay, I think we're pretty... I think I'm ready to do this. Goes... this. Oh, right. It like, yeah, slots in like that. And this probably sits something like this. That makes sense. Pop those wires on. And then this metal plate, which I didn't clean because it's a little too small. Or I didn't wire wheel it like I did the other pieces. Just a little too small. I'm gonna have to scratch it away by hand. Hopefully this thing will never see a cockroach ever again. Oh god, I wouldn't even know. It does go like this. Sort of acts as like a back plate for this rod so it doesn't fall out. It just kind of slides into place like that, I think. Oh, I can put in the laser assembly. Where is that? This little fella right here. No doubt I touched the laser, but... So this sat on here, and on here. It kind of sat something like that. And it's kind of what scares me about putting it in the right spot. Hopefully it sort of has a like a self-check in that it won't like bottom out and like strip out the gears trying to go further. I can verify where it was. It looks like it was all the way forward. So right here, right in its resting position. So where am I on? I'm on Wednesday? Wednesday is most likely this motor screw. Which was a 00. You can put on the belt. Something like that. I don't think there was anything special about that belt. Okay, so I'm looking for what goes into the Tuesday. The tiny spring. Oh, I can put in the other shaft. Put a little bit more on there than usual because it's going to be... Oh, maybe that's why this thing wasn't really sliding on really well. That doesn't seem right. So that was the Not Monday. I still don't know where the Not Tuesday spring went. Okay. So the way I have it in right now is not good. For reasons I haven't quite determined. Maybe because I haven't pushed this shaft in all the way. Okay, I have it about as far as it will go. Did it get bent? I mean, it kind of... maybe it did. Don't want to fatigue it off. That looks better. Okay, so this went into the Not Monday. I still don't know where this little spring from the Not Tuesday went, and I'm probably going to find out and have to take apart probably a lot of stuff. Oh, I see. Okay. Okay, so it goes in here on this plastic piece. That's what this little recess is for. It might just sit simply like... does it just go under? Does it actually hook onto anything? That's what I kind of want to determine. Or it just sort of sits there and then... when the track moves forward, this gives it some springage to go backwards. For a lack of better term. Something like that. No, it's actually further up. Because this whole assembly is pushed back. Can't spin the motor by... I'm gonna have to do this the old-fashioned way. This will be kind of a pain to line up, actually. So I think I do have to pull it back all the way. I wonder what's keeping these little gears from just popping out. Nothing, apparently. Oh, I see. It's way too far forward. So what was happening is... I get it. Because that bar is... that bar that I had in this recess is supposed to go in here. Very gently persuade it open. There it goes. Oh, I think what was giving me so much resistance was the spring that I was bending actively. Oopsie. I'm again not expecting this thing to work, but I really do hope it does. I still don't really know what's holding in that gear. It's mighty possible I've done this wrong. And I mean, if it does act funny, I can take apart another one. There's another one I need to take apart that just simply doesn't work. So I don't know if it just needs a laser cleaned, if there's something jammed in it. Okay, now I'm on Not Sunday, which are 2 screws. I do see the 2 screws I need for Not Sunday. They go into this piece. Okay. And then for for normal Sunday, this is where, oh, no, this one, okay. Not Saturday. Springs that go into here. This is where the spindle motor goes. Or the actual thing that spins the disc. This feller. I think it literally will just slot in. I'm pretty sure it's springs below. That makes sense. Yes. Then I have 3 screws. I know they were Loctited on the very back. I'm wondering if I might not be able to gain access to it, but I think I can probably UV glue them. Oh, they're Torx. Of course they are. Bigger recess than that. Smaller than that. Maybe this? Yeah, what is this? Number 6? This is gonna be one of those things I don't know if I need to like super tighten it or if they need to go in a certain depth. and be balanced. Like, this will be kind of tough. I think they have to go in, they have to sail in quite a ways. At least enough to poke up a little. Okay. I think that's okay. Again, I'm not expecting this to super work, but... Oh, I can already put in the motherboard assembly. Where did that end up? It was not the smallest thing. Oh, here it is. Let me go this way. There's a little tab back here that I just back. Get this cable on. I'll make the somewhat bold assumption that Friday is this little screw that will go into this PCB. We'll confirm that, but I am somewhat confident. That was the Friday screw. Okay, so actually I do introduce the lower housing. And there are two screws that go into it. Now, I didn't do anything crazy with these lower housing, or these metal pieces. I just wire wheeled as much of the rust off as I could. I think that's sort of just my best plan. I don't think it necessarily matters how I put this in. I want to make sure I don't get snagged on anything. Or if I have to sort of angle it in. There we go. So there should be places for my two screws. I'm guessing it's going to be these two recesses right there. Oh, look at me go, pointing him out, even. Wow. Past me was a lad. Okay, got the one in. The other one wasn't really wanting to go in. It'd just be because I need to kind of shift the assembly over. There it goes. Then there's this PCB. I don't think it probably was not that. It's probably here on Monday. This is a similar screw to the other PCB screw. Okay, Wednesday is all of the perimeter screws that go into the... Oh my, this is a big recess. That go into these rubber anti-vibration pieces. That is a tri-wing. Yo, where are all my Phillips at? Here we are. Well, I am excited for this to make awful noises and shred all those gears. But, if anything, I most likely have good motors and a laser assembly. And a good learning opportunity. Tuesday probably has the screws for this thing. Which I imagine goes something like this. It is Tuesday. Because there are two of them. Okay, then we get this. Then we got the arms. Arms. Well, that might be Sharpie, not a Crunchy. I'm going to assume it's a Sharpie. Pretty sure this goes... Felt like this went into this recess. Yes, something like that. Okay. I'll know how these arms go on when I see them. Okay. This is correct. It sits like here, here. I thought this was going to be just a tiny bit more intuitive. No, I don't think it's that. Wow. I do have it the right way. It's supposed to be like... Oh, does it pivot on that? Oh, okay. Let me get a little bit of grease on that. You better believe I'm going to be testing this thing once I... So something like that, and then there's this one. Most likely goes onto this shaft on top of it. Which, oh, okay, has the Monday screw. That goes... hooked right there. And I sort of spin it around. Like that. Okay. Okay, and then the metal shielding goes over it, everything. By golly, does that look like a disk drive? Those are Sunday screws. I am very eager to test this. To see if I screwed it up. I almost don't want to put in this top plate so I could see the thing work, but I'm going to assume that these arms might be utilizing it in some degree. So this is the best I'm gonna get. Oh god. Oh, ribbon cable, I'm so sorry. Can I pull you out, or are you, like, stuck in there? Oopsie. I might even be able to take it out from here. Hey, look at that. I have access to these screws. Ah, these little metal shards from my Dremel tool. Strike again. I'm gonna find those things everywhere. I think I might just be able to take this thing out. Nintendo was smart enough to put the holes in for it. I mean, I may even just be able to separate it from the lower assembly. Is there any other screws holding it down? Yeah. Oh, but it did make it a little easier to pull this. Hell yeah. Thank you, Nintendo. You over-engineered the actual hell out of the Wii U, but at least the disk drive makes some amount of sense. And you have access holes for certain pieces. Okie dokie. Let's get this thing. Let's get my motherboard. I think I have my power brick kicking around. Yes, I do. Let's see what this thing does. Pillbox is empty. Hell yeah. I need to get my monitor plugged in with my HDMI cable so I can see what's on screen. Get my power brick ready. And if I installed the gears in wrong, I'll just have to wait until I disassemble that other console. I can leave this one in pieces for now, because I'm going to have to remeasure, or not remeasure, but find out where all those screws go. Okay. Got power. HDMI plugged in. I'm really not too excited to hear this thing spool up. I don't know how many times I'm going to be lucky enough to plug this in and take it out without completely destroying this little ribbon cable. I think that's good enough. Okay. I need a sort of a non-conductive surface that I can place this on. Okay, well, batteries to power, turbine to speed. Don't got an LED, but that's not too surprising, considering my assembly here. Okay, I got a red light. I don't know if I want to pulse the disk drive first. Let's do it. Oh, nothing. Okay. Power. Might need to push on that power connector a little more. I just need to order a new one from AliExpress. I mean, it sounds promising. Come on, power cable. I'm just not making good enough contact in this plug for this type of ribbon cable. I should be able to just buy this ribbon, so, or if not, just the entire front end button assembly for basically nothing. I was hoping I could salvage it, but I don't think I've ever seen a yellow light on this LED before. think that's like standby. Is it? I'm just munching this. I'm just munching this. Okay, I was able to turn the thing on finally after fiddling with that. I'm gonna have to put that in my AliExpress wish list. Oh, I don't have a fan on the CPU. Oh, well, it's not. Oh, there it goes. Backwards. Currently not getting a display. Forgot that wasn't attached. Okay, I'm gonna pull the cord. Oh, the power button. This little fan is strong. I plugged in the right HDMI. Oh, I think it would help if I plugged the damn thing in all the way. Is that it? No, I don't think so. The CPU is getting warm. It's getting very warm. It's almost giving me like symptoms of an OS crash. I don't know where I put my gamepad, but I won't be able to sync it anyway without a display. But I think once I power it on, I think I just need to remove this front end connector. I might be like bridging contacts and sending this poor console into weird zone. Okay. I don't even know what's making contact anymore. Okay, I got it. I'm just chewing this up. Pins are still all there. Oh. This might be important. So, if I'm gonna make the bold assumption that it needs all of these little components plugged on, it's probably just spilling an error, like, hey, like, why isn't this plugged in? Plug me in. Okay. Try that again. I do need to keep it plugged in if I want to take the disc out. Curious. Let me make sure everything is actually plugged in under here. Everything is. Aside from this front piece connector that I'm just making worse and worse.
Come on, little buddy. I'm not even getting any lights anymore. I may have probably just frayed this end a little too much. Ooh. Why I'm not getting a boot, I don't actually know. It shouldn't have been anything that I did. Oh. Well, my monitor should be reacting to inputs. And it's almost behaving like an OS boot. Or an OS crash. So one of these chips I can try taking out. The Bluetooth chip. I won't be able to open any applications, but it was a possible. Yeah, I'm starting to fold the pins back. I'm gonna have to probably wait until I get another front end connector that I can test with. This one's just gonna get worse and worse. I mean, keeping me in suspense about this disk drive. Ugh. I should be able to actually feed it disks and eject without much. Whether or not I'll be able to actually hit the eject button to take the thing out. Oh, okay, it's booting. The display is all kind of effed up. Whoa, yeah, that's kind of trippy. Not sure what's going on there. It's possible my HDMI port might needs to be reflown. Maybe when I cleaned it, I nudged off some corrosion that kept it going. Or maybe the port's a little dirty. It's a little hard to say. Oh no, I'm not getting anything. Oh, display's better. Since I have it to this point, it's on. The display is better. I don't know what that was about. I might have to clean the HDMI port a little better. Let me see if I can get a gamepad synced to it. So that was the... It might have been a button on the underside. Right here, actually. It wants me to pair a Wiimote first. Okay, well... I do thankfully have one of those kicking around. Or maybe even... I have a WiiU Pro controller that I don't know if it has charge on it or not anymore. Sure isn't giving me any feedback like it is. Gee whiz. Just goes to show that my area needs a lot of help. An error has occurred. I'm guessing it's overheating. No. You don't understand. I don't think I can turn off the Wii. You know what? Or an error has occurred because I don't have the Wi-Fi chip plugged in. Which I hope is not the main problem. Come on, baby. Somewhere in here. There it is. Wonder if I can even enter sync without the Wi-Fi card. be just this guy. It's interestingly not wanting to like link a tablet. Maybe because it has to detect that I'm trying to sync to it. Interestingly. It's only letting me like pair it only wants me to pair I don't remember pairing gamepads being this hard. Zelda Breath of the Wild is on here? Hell yeah. So there's controller settings. I can go into the settings for the gamepad, but I get nothing. WiiU menu. Not sure how I back out of this folder. Probably an arrow back, but oh, there is. It's behind my fume extractor. Download manager notifications friend lists. Oh, they put like everything in weird folders. Mario games. Oh yeah, this thing. What's interesting is it didn't go into ISFS hacks, but they're definitely setting folders up like these are. Like this was a homebrewed console. Like here's Mario Kart 8 in a random folder called Mario. Here's just a folder. Delete. If I delete the folder, will it shit everything back on the main menu? Folders have contents and can't be deleted. Okay. Here's the settings. Good Jesus. Okay, so it's not wanting to like attach a gamepad for some reason. I'm able to sync up a WiiU Pro controller. If you're pairing... Oh, an error has occurred. No! Oh, if it's a Bluetooth chip. That feller's a Bluetooth chip. Okay, I'm getting a little, like, lost in the weeds here. This thing's not booting. My little front-end connector is all kinds of whack. I just wanted to test the disk drive, man. Try one more time. I'll get this little piece ordered off of AliExpress. Because there's really... Not only was it missing a piece when I took it apart, it probably fell out. Because all the Roach piss and shit probably just softened it. And then once I get another front end connector that's not like actively falling apart every time I plug it in, I'll be able to test the main board a little better. So I will not worry about the gamepad. I have a controller, so let me grab a disc. Just see what god awful noises this thing makes when I put in tanks. I'm just glad to see it boots. I mean, And the motherboard is in pretty okay shape. Like, of course, I might have to clean out the HDMI port. I did as much of those ports as I could. Alright, moment of truth. I never cleaned off the laser. Doesn't sound good. I don't know what it's trying to do. Oh god, okay. Can I get the disc out? That's gonna be the real question. It didn't sound right. It did eject the disc. So what I might have to do is take it apart again and just compare it against the one I need to take apart to find out what's wrong with it. My bet is I just put it together wrong. I'll try it one more time just for shits and giggles at this point. Yeah, it's not spinning the disc. I know exactly why. I did not put those screws in far enough. I'm wondering if I can kind of redneck repair this. So I think what's going on is it's not grabbing onto the disc. It's like just resting on that little cradle, and then it's probably spinning on this. And I mean, this is tanks. I don't really care about it. Can I unplug the disk drive, or will it get mad at me? Yep, it gets mad at me. It immediately shuts off. A problem with a disk drive. Yeah, I mean, unplug the thing. Okay. So it's those screws that go into the motor. I'm curious to see if I might just be able to open the back by taking off these six screws. And I do want to double check that gear arrangement on a good disk drive, because I am not super confident in that. It works, but I don't know if my orientations are correct. It working should betray that it is the correct orientation, like it should only work in one orientation, but I'm not gonna bet on it. Right. The other screw is hidden. No, it's right here. Okay, never mind. It's not stuck. It's not under the arm. This should allow me to just take this assembly, this rear back piece off without any fuss. Okay, it's these three screws right here that I think I need to tighten. It was a Torx 6. I'm just gonna bottom them out. Just see what happens. I think those springs are there not so much to balance it, but more to sort of push on the plate to prevent it from working out. Sort of like a self-locking nut. Move the laser back. I didn't clean the laser. I'm not really too worried about it. I am just gonna rest it in the assembly though, or put it back in the housing a little bit. Just so I don't have pieces, or I don't have the laser, like, assembly chewing up this paper towel and just getting that all wound up. Alrighty, tanks. Are you ready for your maiden voyage into another poor WiiU? I think you are. Turn it on again. Come on. Just gotta keep pressing the power button while sort of adjusting my pressure on the ribbon connector here. I felt like it was the... There it goes. It's like the center of this plug is where the power button goes. I need my controller. Actually, I don't think it'll be able to open tanks with the Bluetooth chip out. And I sure hope it isn't the Bluetooth chip. Because if that went bad, then, well, I'm gonna have to order another one. Right. Ah, that sounds awful. I mean, if that didn't leave nice big scratches on tanks, I don't know what would. What went wrong there? Let me see if I can find... Come on, eject button. Work with me here. Oh, actually, I wonder what happened. Hmm. Did I screw those screws in too tight? Perhaps. It's a little hard to say. Actually, I don't think I'm going to be able to take this out without kind of unplugging it on accident. Let me do like one turn back. This is what I worried about on my 360 disk drive. There's kind of a similar assembly where there's like screws that are screwed in just to a certain... I wonder why it sounds like that. Like, that's awful. It spun for a lot longer. Invalid disk, I mean... it's ejecting the disk. I can be pretty happy about that. Leaving these, like, marks. I wonder what I'm missing. I don't think it's then. It might be. Let me just do another turn then. Ah! Look at that! So about 2 turns back. Or it's like a turn and a half. It's still not reading the disc, but it's not like scraping it. And that might just be because the disc, maybe the laser just needs a wipe off. I mean, that's a start. When I get that other disk drive apart, I'll have to study the depth of the screws. Maybe even like see if I can mark them and count the turns. We're getting somewhere here. Wonder if I can just sneak in some... Rubbing alcohol. I see the laser right there. I'm not ready to quit on the laser assembly. I kind of want to see if I can watch it. Watch the action. Like, I should be able to put it in its reset position. Let's get the camera in on the action too. So there's the laser assembly right there. Hopefully I will see it move. Should work vertically like this. Oh, look at that. Tanks, tanks, tanks! It read tanks, tanks, tanks. Let's see if I can open it. Where's my cursor? You need to use the Wii U gamepad. No! I mean, it read the game as tanks, tanks, tanks. Like, I see it right there on my monitor. Not in the best spot, but I mean, I got the disk drive together. It's ejecting. So, for now, I'm calling that a success. I'm gonna have to study another disk drive. I need to know how many turns that like main motor is, because I don't know if maybe it's not all the way to bottom out. Those aren't like locking. Those springs aren't there to lock those screws in so they don't work themselves out. I'm just trying to eject. Eject, eject, eject. Tanks, 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 you served your purpose. Let it free. Jesus Christ, that spins this disc. Even if I'm not, like, actively playing it. Come on. There we go. Nice. Well, I'd say that's a success for now. Obviously I can't I am ready to put this console completely together. I have all of my shielding ready. I may hold off on that just purely because of I need a new front end connector. I am getting a couple more Wii U consoles. I'm getting 2 more, so if there's one that's like actually beyond saving, I might be able to just well, no, I'm not going to say that. I am just going to order a new one. See if I can turn this off nicely without choking it with the pillow by yanking the power button. Well, yanking the power button is like bullet to the head. Holding the power button is like pillow over the head. Okay, yeah, I can't get it to respond. So I need to get a new front end connector. And I mean, the front end I should be able to put it all together just so I can have everything in a bundle, I suppose. Well, I mean, yeah, I'll make that determination later. I might just put it into a box of parts, and then when I get a new front end connector, and I'm able to study a disk drive from the other console, and sort of compare and contrast, see how many turns that main motor has, if I put all the gears in the right spot, things of that sort. But I do want to get everything together so that I know where things are, and I don't misplace stuff. So like these screws that I just took out, I'm going to put them back, because I just want to make sure that they do all go back to the same spot. So yeah, I think that's where this console will stand. I think it's perfectly fine. It's a little rough around the edges, and I have to figure out why it wasn't booting, but I mean, that's a problem for later when I can have a front-end connector that's a little more reliable. Well, I couldn't find a front panel connector for the Wii U. I couldn't find the PCB or the ribbon cable. So I did what any sane and rational person would do. Gotta get this off. And soldered the wire directly to the board because I can. So I never actually tested if this works. It all was probed fine. I got it. I mean, I should have probably tested it before I UV glued everything down, but I mean, I did my best to do like a black and yellow. I wish I had really small like cable combs. But this should be nice and robust and a solid connection. At least what I'm hoping for. So let me put power to it. I'll kind of know right away if it works. Ooh. I don't think I can boot it without a disk drive, so I need to grab that real quick. And then I want to get this console back together. I still want to test out, I still need to verify that the hard drive, or the disk drive was put together correctly. But I'm kind of in a limbo right now where I want to take apart the console with a failing drive, but I don't want to mix screws. I might do that just so I don't have to take this console apart more times than necessary. I don't want that sitting on the raw motherboard, so I'll just kind of balance it right here. Anyway, that's a problem for me for later. So it sits like this. This is the power, this is the eject. So power. Why it went to a yellow light, the world may never know. Oh, I'm missing chips. Okay. Yeah, I took these out. You know, it might be helpful to plug those in. Stand by. I also need to make sure that it boots with the Bluetooth chip plugged in. I don't know why it suddenly stopped, but when I was looking around the Bluetooth, like the plug for the Bluetooth, I noticed some of the connections were a little covered in Roach piss and shit. So I cleaned them off, I reflowed it, so hopefully that will get... Yeah, I reflowed the connector on this side. All those like solder points were just black. Alright. Those are all in, they all clipped in. I don't know if they need to like ground themselves against anything. I mean, these look like almost like thermal pads of some type. Alright, let's try this again. Yellow light might be an error. I mean, if it does show a yellow light on power on, that means I may have, hopefully it didn't cross a wire. Hooked up the yellow as the power on light instead of, blue. Alright, let's try this again. It's trying on my screen. I don't know why now it's not booting. It being a yellow light is kind of hilarious considering how I have it set up right now. Or this might be normal reporting of an error. I'll look it up just on the off chance that it is just me crossing a wire.
So the yellow light would indicate standby. The disk drive is pulsing, sort of does the in and the out, almost like a self-check of sorts. Okay, let me disconnect the Bluetooth again. I don't really know what's changed, why it wouldn't be working on Bluetooth, but for some reason it is. I mean, it looks fine. The connector didn't get pissed and shit on. And it surely shouldn't be related to my little wiring situation over here. There it boots. Okay, it boots without a Wi-Fi card. I wonder if it needs the antennas. These are just two random antennas. I'm very curious. I do want to get this thing factory reset though, but it does look like my check button works. Oh, it shouldn't be Bluetooth because I mean I have the controller connected. But let me get this thing factory reset to just see. And I must have crossed a wire for that yellow light to be going off. Oh, I mean, I remember it being Bluetooth because I wasn't able to... Right, and then whoever this person is, they buried the settings menu for some reason in a folder. Like some psychotic act of organization. If anything, it will rid me this... Oh, I need to use the gamepad to enter settings. Right, and I don't think I can go into the gamepad without this chip connected. So I might have to enter recovery mode and force a connection. I just lost display. Wonder if that my Wi-Fi or my HDMI port needs to be reflown. My display kind of cuts out when I bend the cable a little. Okay, so maybe this isn't Bluetooth. I think this might be like the... Apparently there's a gamepad wireless module. This thing. This must be the gamepad wireless module. Shut it off. Try plugging it in again. I wonder if it needs the antennas. That wouldn't really make a whole lot of sense, unless the console uses those antennas to ground the component. So if it's not properly grounding... I mean, I don't remember what cables went to it. You know what, let me
I'm going to assume it still won't boot. Let me try just one more time just to see what it does. Oh. Okay, I wonder if it's just a Wi-Fi port issue. Or not a Wi-Fi port. HDMI port. It booted just fine. So now let me see if I can connect the gamepad. Very awkward place to put a sync button. Ah. Stay up, fan. I need you to cool. There it goes. Sweet. Okay, now it's showing me a code. 3 clubs and a spade. Let's go. So I'm going to reflow that HDMI port. I think that's the problem. I noticed that like when I was bending the board up, my display was cutting in and out because it was putting a little bit of tension on that display cable. I mean, I will happily take an HDMI reflow. As for why this is yellow, I'm going to assume currently that I'm not a complete incompetent fool and didn't wire that up incorrectly. I did make sure none of them are bridging against each other. So at least my wiring's solid, but I mean, I did just use black and yellow, so it is entirely possible I mixed them up. Delete all content. It's restricted by parental controls. Of course it is. Thankfully, people are very smart, and there are tools for this. So let's go to the WiiU. I'm using a key generator, essentially. Uh-oh, I just lost connection. Come on, I'm right there. Oh, it doesn't have antennas, so it's going to be like perpetual, like super duper, like I have to be really close. I'm like, wait, why the hell is it disconnecting? Oh, it has no antennas on it. So I'm going to have to be a little careful. Set date and time. I'm just going to set it today, which is 3. Okay, this thing is very sensitive when it doesn't have the antennas plugged in. Holy. Like, I have to pretty much hold it still. It was doing okay for a little bit, but now it's just like, nah. 2026. Okay, come on. You're almost there. I believe in you. I might want to try turning the motherboard on its side. See if I can get a better line of sight on that chip. No, now it's just trying really hard, but come on. You can do it, I believe in you. I have to plug in some antennas, like if this is going to be this shoddy. I wonder why it worked really well for a while, but now it's not doing anything. Or now it's not reconnecting. Let me just swap just power cycle the gamepad. Cannot connect the WiiU console. Okay. I'd do something probably that's ill-advised. Will I be able to repair here? Or did the console freeze? Can't really tell because I can't exit that menu. Let me put some antennas on this thing. Just arbitrary, just random antennas that I have. Because I don't think the actual antennas matter as long as they fit on the plugs. Okay. I gave it some ears. Ooh, that was not good for it. Hopefully it will be able to see my console a lot better. Now can I power it on with the gamepad? The negative. Okay, power it on the old-fashioned way, I suppose. Still boots. Still... Oh, there it goes. So we're back with whoever this person is. Who needs to fumigate their home. Okay, my connection with the console seems to be a lot more not stable. I spoke way too soon. I mean, these probably aren't the right antennas, and I'm also not properly mounting them, so I'm just gonna have to take that as it is. This also doesn't have a CMOS battery, so every time I reset it, it will probably also reset. Okay, WiiU. Today's March 23. I need to go into the parental controls. Wherever that is found. Set the screen size, TV remote, gamepad, burn-in reduction, console information, system transfer. Let's see. Gamepad test. At least there's like some integrated tests for the gamepad. That's kind of nice. Is parental controls managed through an application? Taking an abnormally long time to go to the WiiU menu. Please wait. WiiU Chat, Me Maker, Parental Controls. It is its own separate application. Alright? So then it should spit me out an if this is anything like the DSi, you just claim to forget. Uh-oh. I have to hold it in the position I was holding it in. Kind of in my lap over here. I forgot. Send a master key to email address? No. Okay, now it's giving me an inquiry number. So in this tool, I plug in the date, plug in that it's a WiiU, and then I plug in this inquiry number. 20066333548. That will spit me the master code of... let's see. 30895. Hell yeah, that worked. Delete all settings. Settings could not be deleted. Okay, change pin. Just make it 4 zeros. Select a secret question in case... What do I call my first pet? My first pet is PP. Oh, I can't make it just 2 letters. P. Your secret answer is PP. Okay, it might be because the user that I'm on right now is not the super user, or sort of the parental account. These parental controls are definitely a lot more robust than the ones on the DSi, where it's just like, well, because the DSi is just a single user. I'm gonna see if I can factory reset it now. Please read. Okay, good. I can delete everything just with that changed pin. So I don't know why it wasn't allowing me to change or to just completely outright delete the parental controls, but it was. Oh, I need to set up Wi-Fi. All right. Connect to internet. There's no free space on the oh my goodness. They filled up their access points. Um Oh, I don't have antennas on the Wi-Fi. It's probably not going to connect. I could probably well, the fact that it's seeing the access point at full bars, unable to find a Wi-Fi network. Let me bounce a network off my phone, and then I can just hug the console with it. I'm finding out very quickly that having this thing disassembled like this is not the best way to test it. Mobile hotspot. I might just do an open network. I just need it to ping the internet so it'll allow me to... Password none. Okay. I'm just going to keep it nice and close. Let me scan for it. Just trying to delete the content on the cockroach PC, man. Alright, my phone is seeing it as a WiiU. It's connecting to the network device. Internet test was successful. Yes, set it as the default. I want to get this thing wiped. So I can be rid of all of this content. Delete everything. Begone, user of the cockroach PC. This is mine, or the cockroach WiiU. This is mine now. I'm the captain. Now is in the process of deleting everything. And I'll have to see if that could just be, that'd be weird for my standby to be. I can kind of look into that right now, actually. I'm just going to have to be careful because the thing is on. I thought I did a good job wiring it. I made sure I connected everything correctly. Got all the black ones in a row. I didn't cross them at any point. And I think I got all the yellow ones in a row as well. Like, the only real conceivable thing is that I possibly mixed a yellow one. Which, I mean, I do have them all in a row. And the fact that all the buttons appear to work, aside from like some indicators, tells me that I do have them all correct. I even have my little, like... I did kind of have to overlap them a little, but none of them are bridging. Like I had to, like especially right here, I had to sort of overlap them a little. But those are all solid. I UV glued those down. And those have very sturdy solder connections. None of them are bridging. I did verify that. So the only thing I could think of is maybe I just grabbed the wrong wire, but the way I have them laid out, I made sure to sort of laid them out like a connector I would see in a PC. The only thing I'm not sure about is right over here. A lot of this solder mask peeled away. So I don't know if that's supposed to be connected to ground or not. That might be my problem. Don't know. I mean, this connector never did this. So it's possible that's the issue. We'll see when it factory resets if this little quirk of it stays. And I can, again, I have to, probably could reference another console. And I probably should. As that would be the most damning to tell me that, like, yeah, that's not supposed to do that, or it's not supposed to connect to ground, and then I can address it. Because it could be its own isolated connection, or it could just be connected to ground. But yeah, I can verify that. And it still stands today that I hate these style of ribbon connectors. Let me check the progress. I lost connection just because I was outside of the antennas. Interesting. I don't know why it's giving me that display. I wonder if it froze again. And this is the console's way of telling me I should probably not do this. Yeah, because now this controller's not connecting either. I wonder if the console froze. Yeah, maybe me screwing with that wasn't the best idea. Alright, gotta put the pillow over it. Sorry, my lad. Probably not molest it when it's... Because I'm guessing when I pushed my microscope under, it probably bumped a bunch of these... Or bumped these two... connectors that were underneath there. Well, it's booting again, thankfully. Didn't break it. I just don't like the idea of putting it all together only to try and fault find it. Because then I'd have to retake it back apart because Nintendo definitely over-engineered the space unit. I mean, 22 screws around the motherboard seems a little excessive. Oh, it booted straight back into the formatting. Maybe I should just leave it and just let it chill, and then I can come back to it later. Just to see if it is working. I may have just bumped something it didn't like or something. Or maybe it needed internet. I thought it just needed to ping the internet, not sort of use it as a dedicated device or dedicated connection. Okay, well, that's something I can probe later. I just have to kind of wait now and eventually get this thing deleted.
or wiped